Hey guys, welcome to Cars and Health Bars. On today's episode, we're going to be getting into some of the Power Tour and Sick Week action going on and talking about why LSs are getting faded out in high horsepower drag racing. Also, on the gaming side, we're going to be getting into the Black Ops 6 trailer that just dropped and doing a deep dive on our thoughts and opinions on what we know so far. With that being said, guys, let's get right into it. So, of course, the main topic I wanted to hit on was the fact that Power Tour is going on as well as Sick Week, and I kind of want to know. I thought Power Tour was like Sick Week, but I think Power Tour is just literally a cruise to all these different drag strips. Are they actually drag racing at each one? Like, what do you think it is? Because I kind of got confused, I guess.
I think I assumed it was a drag and drive.
See, that's what I thought, but I've not seen any drag racing videos like Zach Wyatt. I don't think he's racing every single time, and if he is, he's not posting slips or clips. You know, he's always all about posting slips and clips on his Snapchat, but I ain't been seeing nothing about that
Surely it's
unless there's
they're
a
dragging.
like a separate crowd that just goes for like the car shows, kind of like how LS Fest is with the show and shine and drag racing.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
So, yeah, uh, I kind of, and I guess deep down, I kind of wanted to do it, but at the same time, that's a lot of PTO hours to put in, and it kind
That's
of
what I'm
sucks that it's
saying.
got the week, yeah, and yeah, it sounds like fun, but at the same time, it's like, ugh, that's pretty strenuous for a car event.
Yeah, I like car events, but when I do them that long, it just gets kind of tiring.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm not
mean,
saying if I was participating, I would get as tired, but as a spectator, it gets kind of boring after a few hours to me.
watching the same cars, I do enjoy watching it on YouTube at night. You know, it's cool, but like actually going and traveling and all that, it just, I just feel like it would get old kind of quick.
I don't know. I think I look at it differently from most people just because I work on cars for a living, and I used to work at a tuning shop, so of course I saw that like every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I get pretty tired even going to LS Fest for more than a day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of grown out of it. I've been going for 10 plus years now. So yeah, I've been going for 10 years in a row.
That's dedication.
So I've been to them a lot.
Yeah, on the flip side, if we talk about sick week, man, it's those the cars that are like it just blows my mind the amount of preparation and everything that goes into these super like high horsepower cars that are like, you know, not necessarily meant to be doing all this road driving and the amount of testing that everything goes on. I mean, there's guys that are having to put alternators on their engines because they wasn't even meant to have alternators on them, you know, whenever they were
That's
custom built,
crazy.
you know. And I mean, this really does put cars to the test, and I don't. It's just sometimes I just think, what are these guys thinking? Putting these cars, these drag cars, they put all this money into purpose built drag cars, and then taking them out on a drag and drive. Like, yeah, I just imagine that's the equivalent to just doing so many dyno rips because you know everybody knows just dyno rips are the just worst thing to do for your engine. It just feels like it's that way, that equivalent for these purpose built drag cars that are going on these like, you know, super high mile trips. I mean, Cletus, his purpose built drag car's already out of it. He broke a main cap. I mean,
Damn.
that's yeah, on his Steve Morris big block. That's like, golly, man, it just it's crazy to see these purpose built drag cars just dying because of this event. But I mean, some of these cars are just built for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends a lot on the setup because some engines, like, I don't know if you know this, but when they build factory engines, they do this thing called the freeze test.
Uh huh.
And what it is they freeze the engine down to negative 40, and then they just cold start it and immediately watt for forever.
Jesus
So
Christ,
like
sounds like an
when it
Italian tune up.
yeah, when it comes to production engines, they go through a lot of testing. I don't think that like Steve Morse engines are going to go through that obviously, but
Yeah.
obviously they're great engines. I'm not saying they're not, but um, there is more stress on more power. So you
Oh,
know
absolutely.
these cars are going to see more wear and tear than your average car driving down the street. And I don't know. I think if you don't got a big power car, like you got stock block LS with a turbo or supercharger or whatever, and you want to do it, I think you could probably do a few seasons on the same engine. But
Yeah,
it's
without
all money, you know. It's just what do you got? What do you want to spend?
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these Steve Morse big blocks are in like any like custom built engine is so insanely expensive. Like I can't imagine how
Ain't
much
it like
people pour in.
70K or something for a SMX engine?
I don't. I'm. If I had to take a guess, yeah, I'd imagine in that
We were
ballpark.
we were looking it up one day at work.
Yeah, and on top, I mean, that's just the engine. You got to think. I mean, if you got that big block, if you buying a SMX, you're also buying turbos, and you're pushing air through that engine one way or another. You know, you're spending, $2,000-3,000 a turbo. I mean, it is insane how much
Uh,
money is tied up in these drag
Now I've
cars.
never really looked into those engines. They're carbureted, right? Or are they actually fuel injected?
No, they're fuel injected.
So they have their own dedicated ECU and everything too. What do people run? Haltech, Holly on those
Yeah,
now?
how Haltech, yeah,
So that's expensive as fuck too. Golly,
yeah.
just the
I mean
price of
it.
the engine alone is like a half a mortgage, and then you got all that on top of it. God, man.
Yeah, and if you're making that kind of power, you got a four link. You've got
Yeah,
like
you got a whole
everything.
chassis custom built. It's not factory chassis at that point. You'd twist the factory chassis with that engine.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're looking at like probably like 100,000, probably not, probably more than that, probably like
It's a
hundred fifty two
mortgage.
thousand dollar grace
It's
car at that point.
it's a mortgage. It's it's all money though. You know, I
I
don't
mean,
think
it's expensive to be fast.
you know the people who do it love it, and no hate to them, but I just don't think most people are ready for that. Like they want to do it, but there's a lot of prep going into that. Not just money wise, but you're spending
Yep,
money on gas, driving everywhere, hauling that thing
methanol.
around. Like there's just so much that goes into that. It's a whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you see the
Well,
people who do it, all the influencers, that is their life, you know? So,
and from my standpoint as a spectator, yeah, I mean it's cool to see a 6 or 7 second car fly down the track, but as a spectator, I feel like I have way more enjoyment seeing like a race that's like got a tenth between the ET of
oh
the
yeah,
person beside them. Like I don't care if it's a 16-second car. If the dude beside him is running a 16:05 and he's about to break out of a 16-second class, like that gets me way more fired up than seeing something like that's super fast. It's just the
for
competition
sure.
gets you amped up.
I can't wait till we get my car done. I might drag it a little
Man,
bit.
as close as my car is to 12 seconds, like I almost just want to leave it the way it is, find some way to knock that tenth off and just
Can,
bracket race at 12 seconds.
can you imagine? You know, my car's going to be 11s when I drive it,
Oh yeah.
but it'll be a capable of 10s.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be so much fun trying to break into the 10s if I can not break shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, maybe
But
though. I don't know.
yeah, I another thing that I really wanted to get into, kind of branching off into that, the whole Steve Morris thing is, I wanted to talk about kind of LSs are fading out, like you said, these influencers, everybody that's getting these high horsepower cars, they're start to realize that OEM blocks such as an LS or a Coyote, they're mass produced, they don't have high horsepower in mind whenever GM is cutting out an LS3 block. I mean, yeah, they want to see you make, what would you see an LS like block holding, like maybe 1600 horse max? I mean,
That's
that's
pushing it.
yeah, I would say 1200 comfortably.
That's an
I mean,
aluminum
these
block. I mean, 1,000 comfortably, really. Because you don't get me wrong, you can make more for a long time, but it's just more stress. Like there's a certain point that you just you know at any minute you're breaking shit.
yeah,
So an iron block, 1,300, you know, and that's really good out of production block. But another thing about the LSs no one realizes is, or I don't think a lot of people realize that some of the engine builders I like to watch mention this is LSs kind of have a little bit too much oil flow from factory. There's actually, if you look at race blocks, most of them cut down some of the flow in the main journals and the main oil galleys for the
yeah,
bottom end. So that's actually really interesting to me because it's like they not over engineered it, but it works fine for what they intended for it. But when you go to doing aftermarket shit to it, trying to push power out of it, it's actually kind of a area you might want to address.
Yeah, if you look at these like custom like Steve Morris blocks or whatever, you see a lot of different attributes that these engines have, the how they move coolant, how they move oil. It's so crazy to see the I mean on a SMX, I mean it's got a whole accessory drive that runs the runs I don't remember if it's oil or cool. I think it's both actually.
Yeah,
High
it'll have a
flows through
dry
the
sump.
block. Yeah, yeah.
It's dry sump for coolant, and then obviously you got your water pump.
It's just crazy to see how it's designed to lubricate the engine more effectively and manage that heat and friction because I mean you've got such a high horsepower build and pushing forced induction air through it. I mean everything is so extremely hot running through that engine. You almost have to have methanol running through there just to cool everything off.
Yeah, I mean that, and a lot of people don't realize that is what fuel does too. It cools the piston. It cools. It's a cold charge coming into that cylinder after a hot exhaust stroke. So it does more than just supply fuel. It also helps cool down the piston. That's part of the reason people spray methanol to begin with is for cooling. I mean, everyone knows that's why they do E85. It's one of the best benefits, that and the fact that it's more dense, so you can fit more of a fuel and air charge going into the cylinder.
Yeah. I think it just blows people's mind whenever you talk about like Steve Morris, and I mean even like there's actually a local shop in E Town that makes I think it's custom like built 2Js, like it's built off the 2J platform. These engines that are making like 3 to 4,000 horsepower. It's just crazy for somebody to
Really?
imagine that. Yeah, there's a place in E Town that makes like turnkey 2Js.
That is
Let me
awesome.
I think they have the record for the highest horsepower turnkey 2J in the world, and it's right here in E-Town.
That is crazy. I would have never known that. I wonder if they do walk ins.
Right? Yeah. Just go up there on our way to like Indy or something. Uh, yeah, it's man, I don't know how to say their name. Grana's Racing, and yeah, they're out here in E Town. I'm looking at it right now. A uh 2J 3,000 horsepower capable billet 2J turnkey ready to grip $55,400.
Damn.
But I mean that's 2K or that's a 2J with the turbo, everything already mounted, ready to rock and roll.
What about fuel system?
Yep, they got fuel system on
So
it.
it's everything for the engine. All right.
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, they got covers on the intake and everything. It's ready to go.
Honestly, not a bad price for considering it's a fuel system and everything.
Sure it's probably got a pretty good warranty on it too.
Because I imagine that block alone is like 10 grand.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all billet block too, Jay. I mean it's yeah that's cool that these guys are local. I mean it's that would be a cool shop to go. You imagine hearing a 2J on an engine, a 3,000 horsepower 2J on the engine dyno.
I wonder what size turbo they're running on that bitch.
Oh, there, there ain't no tell. I'm trying to
120 millimeter
120
induction
millimeter.
wheel.
Oh, I'm looking for the turbo size here. Uh I'm not seeing it. They got head gaskets. They got everything. Just tell me the turbo size. Wastegate, 12 injector intake manifold.
Yeah, it needs some fuel, I'm sure. That's dual injector, two first cylinder. She dumping fuel.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not seeing the turbo size. That kind of sucks. I was really wanting to know. I mean, it's a big turbo hanging off that thing.
That's what we like to hear.
That's what we like to hear. I bet that thing. I don't know. Capable of handling 90 plus pounds of boost. My God.
Have you ever seen a car on like 60 plus pounds of boost?
No, I haven't.
It's
I'm
insane.
sure it screams.
It's all got to be V banded.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm just now kind of doing research on like the housing and everything, like the T6 and T4 housing.
Oh, yeah, different size
Yeah.
manifolds. Yeah, T4, OG, T5.
Oh man, it looks like I misspoke. It turns out the place that is in E-Town is called Bangers Racing. That's what they are called. So shout out to the local 2J shop that I guess none of us will probably ever be able to afford, but it's cool to know that they're here. If you're in the market for like a 3,000 horsepower 2J, oh, their 2J is way way more expensive. Their 2J 2,000 horsepower, or sorry, 3,000 horsepower engine is $117,000.
Damn.
Yeah, so that low price, it could be yours,
Put your house up as collateral and you can get one.
dude. Yeah, easily get that.
It's only going to be $900 a month for the next 15 years.
Oh, it's already got the transmission adapter for a 400 because what else would be able to handle that amount of insane power?
Good
Just
old 400. You
break a
can't beat
Tremec
it.
all day long. No, you can't. It's just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the story of the TH 400.
It really is. Everyone's like, it break? Okay, I fix it stronger.
Like you only got
That
3 gears.
that and the Power Glide, man.
Oh yeah, the Glide. Yeah, a
The
lot of
the OG Kings.
it's crazy too because you hear that's one thing you hear people go back and forth about. The 400 guys don't like the Power Glide guys. The Power Glide guys don't like the 400 guys. Because I was asking something about my 400 to one of my coworkers, and he was like, "You want to use a 400? You must not like consistency." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
One shift versus two. I
He's a
mean, he
Power
does
Glide
have a
guy.
bit of a point,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say it's that inconsistent. Not as inconsistent as a manual.
Yeah.
God, that's
Manual,
the
you're
only
just
thing I
asking
hate
for
about
it.
my car if I drag race it. I'm just going to have to cook the clutch.
Smell nothing but clutch after you leave the line.
Yeah, I did a street dig one day just messing around, and I could smell some clutch. It's hard to slip that clutch, man.
Oh,
I
I
don't got
bet.
much practice, so for me, it's not easy. I'm not experienced with that. Someone like Ashton could probably get in it though and just bam, thank you, ma'am.
Wham bam. Yeah, he is a racer. So is his mom. I mean, she's got a whole following.
Here's the thing about stick shift S550 drivers. Either you are a damn driver or you are not.
Or
There's
you
no
are
in
not.
there's no in between with those people.
I love that.
And Ashton is a driver.
Man, I guess we can move on. I do want to talk about something that I've kind of gotten into looking into, especially with like kind of restoring and doing stuff to the third gen, is like all these 3D printed car parts. Have you seen those? Like, I'm not talking like OEM parts. I'm talking about like customizable stuff. Like the third gen never came out with cup holders for whatever reason. It never came out with cup holders.
Huh.
So you've got these guys that 3D print. There's actually a block off plate in the car. I think it was an ashtray up until some point, and they made it into just a block off plate. You can actually remove that block off plate, and people have designed a cup holder that you can 3D print and pop right in there, and it looks just like factory.
That stuff is really cool because you can really make it OEM looking.
Yeah, some of that stuff. It seems like for some reason the third gen just has a lot of support on some of these sites I looked at. Like one of them had the like if you delete the sun visor, it's got a like the little triangle plate that goes over
Huh,
top of where the arm was, and
that's
even
cool.
one thing that I know I would definitely 3D print if I had the opportunity is the strut towers have these little plastic cups over top of them,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and they tear up a whole lot, especially like you got old plastics and everything in these I mean, it's a car that was made in the 1980s, so a lot of these plastics are getting brittle and they break, and of course mine are broken. But they have it to where you can actually 3D print a new one of those on each side. It's pretty cool. And the I even saw the so the third gen just has two kind of smaller grills in the lower part of the bumper,
Yep.
and somebody had it to where you could 3D print that grill insert. It's like really cool.
I'm gonna 3D print a whole dash.
That's what I'm saying. That's second gen Cummins owners. I
They don't have a dash. What do you
know,
mean? They
right?
deleted that sucker.
I seen a meme the other day of a guy trying to like hot glue one piece, all the pieces back together. I was like, yes, sir.
Never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. It's gonna look like
Second gens, I just don't know what happened there. Like, what did they make that dash out of?
like the worst material ever. Like it's like the third gen suspension components. Like them, they're going out at between 150 and 200,000 miles. You gonna need ball joints, buddy.
Dodge over here, like, no recall, nothing. Toyota's like, oh, your accelerator pedal got stuck on the carpet. Let's sawzall that as a recall. I'm not even joking.
Or
They
or
cut the accelerator pedal as
oh
part
my
of a
god.
recall.
That's about as stupid as GM with the Camaros, what they did. One guy bumps his knee and bumps the key fob with his knee and cuts the car off. So what's GM do? They cut the key out of the key fob.
Nah, you know what it was actually? Because
I thought that's what it was.
it shares the same key and ignition cylinder as a Malibu, Cruise, all that.
Uh huh.
What happened is on all those cars, all these fucking all these girls, have a shit ton of stuff on their keys. Usually, like
Yeah.
most guys I know, just have a bunch of keys or nothing.
Yeah.
And nah, all these people got all this weight hanging off their key. It wears the ignition cylinder out while you're driving over time.
My God. Yeah, I see that all the time. I mean, my wife's lanyard is like 10 pounds. Granted,
Yeah, I don't know how people be doing that. How do you carry that around?
she's got push button, but still, like she's got like a squirt hand sanitizer thing on hers. She's got like
I can
just
kind of get that being a nurse though.
yeah. I mean, she does have some like really like unimportant things on her lanyard. I'm like, really? Just be packing around like if she could physically assault somebody with her lanyard. Like if she comes swing, it's like swinging a morning star, dude.
I got like 4 keys aside from my main key. That's it.
My Dakota keychain just has the Dakota key on. I don't even got a house key on that one. And my Camaro has my key. It has my Camaro key and it has my key to the third gen's hatch. That's it.
Yeah, that's how I like my keys. Nothing on them.
Like I don't like a bunch of and my house key, of course. But
I don't
yeah,
like carrying them around, if they're real big.
I have one key that I really don't need on that keychain, and it's to the third gen's original ignition, and I need to take it off, but at the same time, I'm like, man, that's the OG key though, even though I'll never use it.
I got my dad's C10 key still.
My coworker I was like, my car came with two keys. I was like, how do I know which one goes to which? He said, one's a circle, one's a square, right? I said, yeah. He said, the square one goes in the ignition because it like fits perfectly like a square inside the ignition. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I guess that was a thing back in the day.
Them
Because
old keys.
the ignition that you plug the key into, I don't really know what the word is at, but the keyhole you plug the key into in the column, it actually has like ears on the actual like keyhole, so it's even more leverage to turn it over. It's kind of cool.
It's called tumblers inside that ignition cylinder. If you ever
Oh,
rebuild one, you gotta match the key to. Like
like
if you get a new,
like you talking
if you
about
get
the
a
things
new,
you do whenever you lock pick?
yeah, you gotta push
Yeah,
those
yeah,
up. You gotta
yeah.
put those inside the cylinder when you get a new
That's
one. You gotta
sounds
match it to
terrible.
your key. No, it's not that bad. I've done a few.
Sounds
It's
like
pretty fun,
gravity would
really.
be
It's like a
terrible.
little. It's like a little puzzle in Skyrim or something.
Oh my god.
It's kind of fun.
Have reverse lock picking. You're rebuilding a lock.
It's fun, honestly. I don't know.
Uh,
I like it.
I to each their own. I was telling my coworker, which we were talking about. I told you earlier. He just really dislikes Greenwood Ford, and I was like, yeah. I said if you had them drive all the way out and there not even be a car there, I said it'd be horrible because I'm pretty sure they're paid by the job. And I was telling him how good you are with the Ford door latches. And I was like, yeah, I got a buddy. He said he hook you up with some Ford door. He clean up with some Ford door latches.
I
Make
did some the other day.
a week's worth of hours on some Ford door latches.
We don't get them much anymore. I'm upset.
You done fixed them all. That's why.
I wish we got them. I'd make some money.
Homie done fixed them all.
I
You
had to
done fixed your.
graduate to engine and suspension.
Had to go do some other stuff.
Had to do some real work.
Dang, Ford door latches. I'll never forget that.
Nah, that ain't even the worst. Ford has some dumb recalls.
I'm just talking about like because you talk about how good you are at them. Everybody at Ford talks about how good you are at Ford door latches. You're just like the door latch guy.
Maybe not anymore. I did a set
Yeah,
the other day. It took me over an hour. I was like, damn, I fell off.
we fell off.
I still made an hour on it though, so I ain't complaining.
I kind of
I
want to
used
know, huh?
I used to do them in like 35, 45 minutes.
Jeez, how much does it pay an hour?
No, like almost two,
Oh my
1.99
god,
or
you were doing it in a fraction of the time.
dude, I had them down.
Repetition pays
Don't
off, huh?
bring a fusion around me and be caught lacking.
Oh my
I'll
god.
flag that recall for myself.
I kind of want to get your take before I go on a tirade about people who have like their social media tags on their cars.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends a lot. Is it a clapped out shitbox Silverado?
Okay, so what put me on it is I was talking to my wife on her way to work, and she said, "Hey, I just found a squatted Suburban driving through town,"
Hmm.
and she said it has his Snapchat tag on it. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go report this guy for terrorizing the city." But
Yeah, if it's not a clean build and that's the only sticker on it, then yeah, I kind of don't like it most of the time.
God, I ain't about
I'm,
it at
I'm
all.
not a
It's like,
fan of having a lot of stickers and shit on, anyways. You know, I used to have some, but I guess I've moved on from that. I just like a clean car, nothing much on it.
all you doing is free advertising,
I
dog.
don't mind like a cool decal, like a Firebird on the Trans Am or something,
Yeah.
but I
Here,
don't know.
here's my thing on stickers. You're advertising, so unless you have ties with that person or you just think it's a cool sticker, I'm kind of out. I would rather, like you said, have very minimal or no stickers, or like uh Cletus's C7 or C6. I really like the whole, like, you know how it's kind of got that very cut corner rear end or like back on it where the tail lights are. It's very flat and it's very blocked off from the car.
Yeah,
uh like that whole back end is sticker bombed, which I think looks really nice, especially the way the C7 is. It's got really straight edges back there, so it's really unnoticeable until you get behind the
you
car.
talking about C6, right? Not C7.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, C6.
Yeah, yeah, I don't mind that on that. Honestly, I
Like,
like it when they wrap the whole thing black.
yeah, but I either like a sticker bomb on like one specific thing, or like just minimal or no stickers. Like, of course, I've got the banner of the podcast on my car, and I've got MCR tuning because they tune my car. But that's all I got, and
That's
that's all
pretty
I ever plan to
minimalist,
have.
honestly.
And on the third gen, I just have. I mean, I'll have the podcast banner, and then I'll have which I already have Holly LS Fest on there. But I mean, that's as far as I'm going. I think two stickers is my cap. Like a front and a back windshield is about all I'm going.
I don't got any.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's
Well, I do got a badge. I got the corn-fed badge.
yeah, but that's not. I wouldn't count that
That
as a sticker.
that badge is pretty clean. I ain't
That
gonna
that
lie.
batch is clean. It almost looks factory just because the placement.
I had to get it for Tyler too. I was like, bro, we corn-fed homies. We gotta have
Corn fed homie.
it.
It's like we need to make a skit of like. Have you ever seen those memes where like a redneck farmer goes out in like a corn farmer goes out in the cornfield and he just bites into a raw piece of corn and goes, "Yeah, that's good corn right there."
Yeah,
We need to do that with you and
shoving
Tyler.
it down my tank.
Yeah, shove it
Do that
inside your
right
gas
before I
tank.
like change my fuel pump or something.
Yep, that's good corn. Shove it in, then have a clip of you like running down the drag strip. That would be an awesome skit.
Mm-hmm. Had good corn.
That's going right there. I guess we could throw it to our gaming topic before we get too late into the episode here. Of course, we talked about Black Ops 6, a huge trailer. I didn't watch the trailer all the way through from Treyarch. I just watched all the breakdowns because I just wanted to know the analyticals of everything. I kind of wanted to know what to look for instead of looking for it myself because I podcast brain. I'm just trying to get the information for you guys. I kind of want to know your take, and then I guess we'll kind of break down some points that I have listed here.
So, just talking about the story, not even multiplayer or nothing yet, because I really do like the Black Ops campaigns.
Okay.
I'm really a fan of how this one's looking. It's giving me Black Ops 1 vibes, and arguably that's the best campaign, in my opinion.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
I agree 100%. Treyarch's always made the best
I think
campaigns.
just the vibe of Black Ops 1 was the best. Like, Black Ops 2 was good, good vibes, but Black Ops 1 just had this certain feeling when you played it, you know? Like, yeah, I ain't even speaking from nostalgia. It just, like, the loading music, the menus, like, it just hit different, man. So, this one's kind of giving me those vibes, and I really like how they have the president in the campaign. Like, Black Ops 1 had JFK. Like, it's just cool.
Yeah, and like this, I love how that game kind of they played mind games with you with the whole like Adler thing, whether or not you were real, whether or not he was real, like it messed with you on a whole nother level. So it's like you said, the multiplayer could be garbage, but if campaign hits, it's worth it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. I'm planning on buying it. I'm going to definitely wait to see some more gameplay before I'm probably not going to pre-order, but if I do, I'm definitely going to make sure gameplay looks good because, you know, what I've seen so far, I like how they introduced new movement. It don't look broken. I'm sure there's going to be some broken movement, though.
Yeah,
Hopefully, they don't push Warzone super hard, but I don't know. I feel like multiplayer's going to suffer because of Warzone, and that's kind of my biggest gripe.
what are your thoughts on the new movement? The whole like strafe sliding, the being able to like be prone
Lay
and
on your
like lay
back.
on your butt. Yeah,
Yeah. I think that should have been in the game a while ago, to be honest, since then 2019. Because it was still like old movement, pretty much. You just had double sprint. And that really wasn't nothing crazy. I think, I don't know, Call of Duty's always kind of been the same, but they got so much room to do stuff. I do like how you can dolphin dive to the side. I don't
yeah.
see that as broken or nothing. So I don't think it will be annoying in multiplayer either, because when you commit to a movement like that, you're easy to shoot. So I don't think it's going to be real broken.
Anything, in my opinion, to speed up the movement speed, like an older Call of Duty game, I'm for because
Yeah,
even if it
it's slow.
is, yeah, even if it is broken, and I mean, the Black Ops 3 movement was insane with the exosuits, and I mean, you've
Yeah.
seen how much fun that game was. I mean, it could be a terrible game, but at least you have fun getting around the map.
Oh, I had good movement on that game. I loved it.
The and that brings me to another point. It seems like, well, I mean, it's not. It seems like it was the one of the developers just came out and said, "Yeah, we're going to bring back the classic 3 lane, small to medium sized
Oh,
maps for Call of Duty."
and you know what else they're doing? They're making Prestige like old Prestige. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of that.
I have that on my list to talk about.
Yeah, that is. I'm so glad they're doing that because I always felt like Prestiging should have been a commitment.
Yeah, every
Because
time
when
you
I
got to
got Master
restart.
Prestige, dog, that was a grind.
Oh yeah.
Like, I didn't, first thing you unlock, Ghost, then your favorite weapon, then Scavenger, then, there was a whole strategy to it for me, anyways, and I loved that.
That's why I stopped at Prestige 5. I just couldn't keep going. It really is a grind, and I mean it doesn't get any easier as you go. I mean, you do get one thing to perma unlock, but it comes to the point to, like you said, you have the 5 or 3 go to like goaded perks, but after that it's just like, which gun do I want? It just gets to the point to where you start running out of stuff to pick, and it just stays a grind until you hit 10.
You already know what your first weapon was on Black Ops 2.
What was one of the last ones you unlocked? Oh, probably for you, the AN.
AN-94.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That thing was goaded.
It definitely slayed, that's for sure.
That, the Scar H, the MSMC. I don't think I did the KSG. I might have done that later on. No snipers. It's mainly just perks.
Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to bring up. But the bringing back the classic 3 lane maps makes me happy because it seems like the most complaining that a lot of people have been doing about the current Call of Duty games is that the maps were terrible. I mean, even you admitted that you did like Cold War quite a bit, but of course the maps were horrible, especially that one hotel map or
I've always
whatever it
hated
was.
the newer maps since 2019. It's like a 3 lane, but there's so much more verticality to it, and not like, like firing range had 2-story buildings on both sides, but it wouldn't. I don't know. It didn't feel the same because the lanes were different then. Like the two other lanes didn't have so much verticality, and it
Yeah.
seems like every lane has so many angles, so many camping spots. I guess is my complaint.
It kinda sucks that we're gonna be getting Nuketown right off the bat because hopefully it doesn't become super overplayed as it has been in past Call of Duties, but if you think back, Black Ops 2, of course, it had Nuketown, so did Black Ops 3, but back then, the other maps were so good, it really didn't matter if you got Nuketown or not. Obviously, Nuketown was a favorite, but the other maps were so much fun, it could easily get outvoted, but I mean, we see in current Call of Duties, I mean, there's literally playlists of nothing but Nuketown. You didn't have that back then because the other maps did still like they put up a
There
good
was
fight
on
against
Black Ops
Nuketown.
2. There was
Hmm.
Nuketown 24/7.
Oh, there was. Well, still, there was enough good maps in the mix. I mean, all the maps in Black Ops 2 were good, other than Aftermath, in my opinion. So, I mean,
Aftermath.
yeah, that map's
God,
horrible.
that map.
It was just so dang big, and like you said, it had so many levels. It had that level with the rubble, and then
Yeah,
like
the
you
middle
had the
area was just unplayable. The spawns
corner
were
camping.
horrible.
But yeah, I mean, it would make me really happy to see a few maps return, not just the super popular ones. I mean,
Firing range,
Raid was super
raid,
fun. A Raid returned in a COD Mobile, and
standoff. Standoff was in Cold War,
Standoff
I
made a
think.
return. Yeah. I mean, all there wasn't like I said, there wasn't really a bad map. I wouldn't mind Aftermath now, just because the maps that we have been given are such garbage.
I remember Aftermath, man. I hated that map. I never hit clips on it.
It
Never hit high
was
kill games.
everybody's least favorite. Even the DLC maps were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
Magma, there was that one with the weird like pods and the overgrowth section. That was a like primary
yeah.
three
I know
lane.
what you're talking about.
They were all so good. Even Black Ops 3 had great maps, but
Black Ops 3 had really good ones.
A lot of it was because the movement was just so good.
Like you remember
Redwood
that? You
literally
remember that
popping.
one that we played Michael Myers on all the time? I would go under the map almost,
Yeah,
like at the very
Exodus.
bottom by the kill zone, and I'd just
Yep,
wall run
camp it.
around it.
Yeah.
And remember that one spot you didn't even have to do nothing; you just slide across. I found that glitch spot.
Oh, there was that one map with, like, the quarantine, barriers and stuff. You could get up in the stairway if you, like, exo jumped. Remember we had,
Yeah,
like,
I
me and
remember.
you both camping
Yep,
on one
I
spot.
remember
That was
that.
awesome.
No, I'm talking about under that helipad. Remember, you'd wall run at the very end. It wouldn't wall run. You'd just float and slide.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's that Exodus map I'm talking about. That
Ain't it
you talking about
crazy
the
how we
helipad
still
that's the
remember that
spawn?
stuff?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Like that's how you know the game was good. Hopefully,
Yeah,
Black Ops 6 is, and it's gonna be crossplay, so we gonna have
and
big lobbies on that game.
it's like you said, they're bringing back classic Call of Duty features that were loved by the community. You have the prestige mode, you have the 3 lane map, and you also have the theater mode returning, which is exciting. Like,
Really?
yes, theater mode will be returning day one.
What about the? Is it Pick 10?
See, that's one thing. It looked like it was. I think I saw a screenshot. Uh, it looks like Gunsmith is still going to be available. I don't know if it's going to be based on a pick 10 system. That's one thing I did notice, though, during the gameplay is it seems like you have, of course, your set in stone perks that you start out with, but it looks like you get another perk based on the things you do. And I guess that'll be class defined. Like, it seemed like the gameplay I
Okay.
was watching, the more kills or the more points this guy was getting, the closer he was to either maintaining the perk or getting the perk. I don't remember which
So
way
like
it was.
specialist,
Yeah, I think that's the way it was.
like MW3 specialist, that is really cool because I love that.
One thing that I'm not kind of enjoying seeing coming back, and this is probably a hot take and an unpopular opinion, but they're bringing back the field upgrades that we've been seeing in past Call of Duty games. I'm just not big on them, man.
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of.
It's just like
I
the
guess it's
use.
kind of like the right, like Black Ops 3 had your character ability. I guess
Yeah,
that's the closest thing I could compare it to.
it just seems like something else I've got to like worry about taking care of. Like if it's a field mutations box, it's like how often do I run out of ammo? Like I'm using
Oh, I
scavenger all
do.
the time.
Like I like that field munitions box because it saves you that perk slot.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just not I've never really been big on the field upgrade thing. Like I yearn for the days where COD was simple. Like pick 10 and that's all you got to worry about.
Well,
If you didn't have
your tactical is kind of more like that on the older CODs because no one used flashbangs. Everyone used portable radar,
yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
trophy, whatever.
You could sacrifice that slot for another perk. Like I wish it was that way with the pick 10 system. Like I could sacrifice my field upgrade for another perk or something like that, something along those lines.
Honestly, I'd like that.
See, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't dislike the field upgrade. It just seems like another thing I've got to kind of like, oh, I've got it. I better use it, or I'm just wasting. I'm wasting it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Another thing that I saw inside the trailer was vehicles. Of course, they were in the campaign with Adler and everything, but it does kind of beg the question: if they went to the trouble of putting vehicle mechanics in the game, I wonder if they're bringing back vehicle-based game modes such as like Fireteam Dirty Bomb.
I don't know. I never did care for those. It's just kind of
I,
not my thing.
I didn't either, and traditionally speaking, vehicles haven't done well in COD games, other than Warzone, of course. It just hasn't done well in multiplayer, but it. I could see Treyarch trying that.
Yeah, I assume there's going to be Warzone, so that's probably what it's going to be mainly for.
So did you see? Have you done any deep dive into any zombies content?
No, I heard Gobblegums are back though.
Yeah. So them releasing the Vault Edition and showing what is in it leaked so much
I'm
information.
guessing
The
it's
v-
Transit Remastered
I don't know, man,
because
because
that was apparently done and it never released for Black Ops 3.
what we do know so far is it's round by round based zombies. Of course, we
So
kind
like
of
OG.
expected that to return. Yeah, and also it's going to be picking up on where the Cold War story left off. So I'm guessing it'll have a lot to do with the Dark Ether and all that good stuff.
I
Uh,
have no clue where that even left off.
I don't either because I didn't finish the game all the way through. I just played the first one with
Same.
I don't wasn't the
I did.
staffs. It was something
We
else.
no,
What
it wasn't staffs. It was that weapon that me and Brady were good at getting.
I guess it was just like a random gun, wasn't it? It
It's a
like
wonder
shot because
weapon,
yeah, it was a Wonder Weapon. Each one did
and
something
you could
different. One was
upgrade
like
it. Yeah,
acid. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do.
we did beat that map though.
We need to re-download Cold War and do Cold War Zombies
I
playthrough.
think I
That
still
was a
got
lot
it.
of fun. Yeah, I think you said you re-downloaded it. I need to. But anyways, the Vault Edition leaked a lot of information that I mean, of course, leaked. They meant for it to come out, but they of course those Gobblegums in the Vault Edition, so that let us know immediately Gobblegums are going to be making a return, whether you liked them or not. Uh, also, I don't know if it was a specialist or what it was, but one of the characters on screen with the skins was Brutus from Mob of the Dead.
No way.
Uh-huh. He is one of
That's
the
wild.
skins that's on the Vault Edition. I don't know what that is in relation to. Dude, if they have Mob of the Dead, that would be insane. We already know we're getting 2 maps out the box, for
Really?
Zombies release, yes. And
So
the
like Black
first
Ops
map we
1, 5, and Kino.
Yep. So from right out the gate, the map that they display is a map that we haven't seen before. But what it did look like, the Waffle Waffles is who I was watching do this breakdown.
Yeah.
He said it reminded him of a World at War map, but for me, it reminded me a lot of Dazendrock because it was like it looked like it was on an island, and it looked like there was a lot of different areas you could go into, and with a whole separate area, a large opened up area at the bottom of the map, which might remind me a lot of the launch pad from Dazendrock.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
So, and another thing that I noted from this is that there are going to be 4 main characters in the zombies. If you remember in Cold War, it wasn't like that. You had to use your operator. There was no
Yeah.
dialogue between you and your you.
Yeah, I
There was
kind of
no
didn't like
storyline.
that.
They
But
they I guess
given
you might,
given Cold
huh?
War had 1.5 years to be produced, I kind of understand that.
Yeah, I mean, if you know one thing about Treyarch, they go all out on story and lore. So, if that's one thing they had to cheap out on, they still made a good zombies
I mean,
experience.
it took them 1.5 years instead of like 3 or 4. So really, Cold War for it being my favorite, that's surprising how good it was for how little was in production.
Yeah. Uh, but right off the rip, we know that there are going to be 4 protagonists. It looks like one person is from a Cold War or maybe story. I don't know. At some point, she was a Cold War character, and then 3 others. There was speculation that one of them was a Scarlet character from something at some point, but I think that got disproven. But regardless, it's 4 characters that we're going to get brand new dialogue from, and Treyarch, that's going to tie into the whole big story one way or another. That's just the way Treyarch does it. There's going to be lore. uh, One other thing that I noted from the Vault Edition is that the camos, of course, the guns already have camos on them because it's just the way COD does it. But
Yeah.
the camos were very, very reminiscent of a Pack Punch Black Ops 3 gun. Like they had like
Okay.
the eyeball and like the purple black, black ether with the little eyeballs in it from like it reminded me of the Apothicon Servant.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
That man, I'm just fired up because that zombies Treyarch just always does zombies good. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. The only thing that's kind of going to be weird is the movement that they're implementing in multiplayer is also going to be in zombies, which shouldn't be a shock because they did that with Black Ops 3 with the G sliding, which did help get a lot around the map a lot easier. I'm just wondering if it's going to have that same aspect in zombies, if it's going to aid in traversing the map a lot quicker, or training zombies, outmaneuvering zombies, so forth.
I think it'll flow pretty good. They never really had much crazy. Um, I mean, they had exo movement in zombies too, so
Yeah, very
they had it
true.
all.
I'm really excited to see it come back, especially the zombies, man. It just like it got me so fired up to see the
Back
return
in
of
the
round by
day,
round zombies. Yeah, it's
they're playing
you.
Black Ops 2 Origins for so long.
I mean, even Black Ops 3, dude, they just knocked it out of the park with every map they made. Shadows of Evil, I mean, Dies and Drock, every single map was a hit, and it just excites me to see that they're going to continue doing zombies, and and it might turn some people off because of, it's not the same characters that we're used to. But number one, their story's over. And number two, like Shadows of Evil was a brand new cast of characters. And look how much fun it was and how much, I mean, even those characters had some crazy lore. I mean, they
Look
all
at
did
Black Ops
something
2.
bad. Yeah, same thing with Black Ops 2 with the transit group.
Now, granted, they all tied in, but still, it was separate for a minute there. We didn't know.
I almost like it like that because it adds mystery. It makes you wonder, hey, how do they tie in? Do they tie in? It gives the community something to sink their teeth into as far as Easter eggs goes, as we
Yeah.
know is such a big core part of Treyarch Zombies is the Easter eggs. I mean, everybody's always.
There's an end to every story, and they got their end, so I'm not upset about that.
I would say the communities that dig into Easter eggs like Treyarch Zombies fans are the equivalent to like how Five Nights at Freddy's fans are looking for any little thing that could
Yeah,
possibly be lore.
it's lore.
Like there's a rock. This rock is moved to the right, and
It's
on the original
115.
map, it's on the left. It's lore.
115 is back.
115. Yeah. Well, that was the first thing that Raffle Waffles was speculating is the zombies are wearing hazmat suits. He's like, I wonder if this map has like the Nova, Nova 4.
Nova crawlers.
Yeah, Nova Crawler.
Maybe.
And also, that zombie, that big fat zombie that was inside the trailer, it makes you wonder if there's like some sort of new like zombie variant or something, or if that's like the round 10, like a
Yeah, boss
Panzer's
zombie.
esque. Yeah.
Round 8 was Panzer, by the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Origins.
It
Ask me
varied on
how I know.
shadows depending on how far along you were.
I was
Yeah,
the zombies man. I was
you
just
were. I
into
really
everything on Black Ops. It's always been mine.
Treyarch. He is a Treyarch fan.
I am. I've done almost every Easter egg on Black Ops 2 Zombies. I did Origins. I didn't do the Rise and Drop. I did
No,
Shadows of
surely we
Evil.
did.
We did Shadows of Evil. I don't know if we did. We might have done the Rise and Drop because we got all the bows, and honestly, it wasn't
Yeah,
much
I
after
think we
that.
did. I know
We
we
might
did
have. I don't
shadows.
remember.
Shadows is so easy now because how many times we've done it. I mean, we get everything like on there. We get the dang sword and
Transit was
everything.
the worst though because it just took so long.
Dude, the Electro Man would mess me up, dude. I was horrible about killing him.
Didn't we try it? Like I know I got to
I
like
know
one of the
me, you, and
last
Logan
steps
tried
on
it.
it. And then I almost finished the buried one and something stupid happened on there and we all died. I almost did transit and buried. I never did um oh the first DLC map, Black Ops 2.
God, I'd give anything for Black Ops 2 to bring back, or them to bring back
What
Black
was
Ops
the
2
first map?
Transit. That was so
Everyone
much
hated
fun.
it.
Uh, was it a standard map
It was the
or
first
DLC?
DLC map.
Oh, High Rise or Die Rise?
Die Rise, yeah. Everyone hated it, but I loved it.
Yeah, that's the only DLC I didn't buy for Black Ops 2.
I didn't know you didn't
Mm,
have that.
that's the only one I didn't have. I had everything else. I even bought skin packs on there. I had the graffiti skin pack. I think,
I had a
uh,
lot of them.
Yeah, I had a few of them. I know for sure I had the graffiti one because I was all about it.
115. Everyone
Yeah.
had that. See, when COD did skin packs back then, they did it right.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, crazy in your
And if you
face.
ran like certain skin packs, the gamer girl always had the kawaii. The fuck boy ran it too. The really bad player had the money one.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Like everyone had certain ones that you just knew.
You had on that diamond.
Oh yeah,
Don't
that's
even
the only thing
play.
I needed. I earned that twice. I earned Master Prestige twice.
Homie is a decorated Black Ops 2 player.
I am like General Patton of Black Ops 2.
Oh my god.
I'm the most decorated Black Ops 2 veteran. I served 4 tours in Advanced Warfare 2.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's all we have for this episode. Let me know what you guys think about Black Ops 6. Let me know if you're going to get it or not. I'll put a poll below. And with that being said, guys, we will catch you in the next one.